You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
And welcome to a very different sounding TADPOG podcast.
Yes, you can thank me for that one this time around.
Cuban B.
Cuban B, otherwise known as COVID-19. I managed to get all the way through the pandemic and then some, and then this past Friday, I started feeling like shit, and I just thought I had a cold, and I always have really bad seasonal allergies, and the pollen's really high, so I was just feeling like crap, running a low-grade fever, all the bells and whistles, and then today, I thought to myself, hey, I wonder, just out of curiosity. So I tested myself, and sure enough, I have my very first case of COVID.
So now we've all been bitten by the zombie.
Yes, we've all been bitten. I'm finally a member of this club that I didn't want to be a member of.
At least you didn't hide your bite and come over and let's record together.
No, God, I felt so bad, too, because I've been around Tanya, and it's just been one of those things where it's like we're far enough past it, the worst of it, at least as far as the pandemic was concerned, for me to have not immediately thought of it. Because if this had been 3 years ago, I'd have had 3-4 tests by now,
Sure.
But I felt bad because, I've been around Tanya. Fortunately, I haven't been around everybody else because they've all been hanging out, doing their thing, and not at my house. So she's the only one that's probably got exposed to me, but we tested her today, and she's so far tested negative, so I'm quarantining out of my office, and I thought, well, maybe I probably shouldn't go out to Tyler's today and expose them as well, so I didn't.
Thank you for that.
I could use a week off, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. It's just one of those things I just expected. I had dodged that bullet, and I was wrong, baby, wrong.
Well, we had to push this one. We were recording on Eclipse Day. We had to push this back for work stuffs. So it only worked out that we'll just do a over the internet, all drafts. To have a good little COVID distance therapy. Well, I guess before we get started, anything you've done, you want to talk about?
So I've sat around for several days doing nothing but watching stuff on TV. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of stuff I could cover if y'all can it.
If we can it, yep.
If you can it.
Hear him.
First of all,
hear him
well. First of all, I do want to mention that I did finish the Dark Tower series.
Nice.
I have thoughts. We have a lot to talk about, fellas, and
yeah,
looking forward to that discussion. I know Dave has come across a few of the things that I've sort of offhandedly warned him about, and we've had some off mic discussions about a couple of little things, but I've gotten through that. I am now, however, I decided to go ahead and read or listen to, if you will, The Wind Through the Keyhole, which is sort of a for anyone that doesn't know, it's another story that Roland tells his quartet. That took place after the events of the story that he told in Magus, of he and his lovely Susan, And when he gets home and some of the things that happen there, he tells a story of another mission that he and his friend Jamie were sent on. I did, however, the main reason I bring that up is because I do have some clarification, because The Wind Through the Keyhole is read by Stephen King himself, which is not necessarily a good thing. But all the same, I did get some clarification. Cuthbert is the proper pronunciation.
Barf.
Cuthbert. Elaine is the pronunciation.
Like from
Elaine.
Seinfeld?
No, A-L-A-I-N.
That's also a weird
Elaine.
That is odd. Elaine.
And Roland's last name is pronounced Deschain.
That's the way I like to say it. So at least I'm 1 for 3 or 2 for 3 because I said Elaine and I always said Deschain.
Deschain
I always
makes
said
so much.
Deschain.
Yes, that makes sense to me.
Know.
Deschain
But
feels like
Deschain is
definitely the way a 17-year-old would have pronounced it when he created them.
Well, he if that's right, then he's stuck to his guns because he is pronouncing it Deschain.
Deschain. Okay.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but as far as I'm concerned, neither does Cuthbert.
Cuthbert.
Yes,
That's growing on
Cuthbert
me.
B. So, anyway, I have things to talk about that I watched for whatever reason over the course of the last several days. My wife and I have decided that we were going to watch early to mid-'80s horror films, one of which I have seen several times before. The others I have not. The first one I would like to introduce you all to is called Madman, or Madman, if you prefer.
The prequel to Mad Men?
Maybe.
Robert Madman.
This movie is from 1982. At a summer camp in the woods, Max, one of the counselors for a group of gifted children, decides to regale the campers and other counselors with a frightening tale of a local serial killer known as Madman Mars, M-A-R-Z. As the story goes, if his name is uttered above a whisper, he will return to the area to kill. Unimpressed and unafraid, an impudent teen, Richie, feels compelled to test the legend despite the deadly consequences.
Fucking Richie.
And fucking Richie, because, within moments, Madman Mars is back again for blood. Loved it. Campy horror film from the 80s. It's an absolute ripoff of Friday the 13th, and I am absolutely fine with this. 3.5 stars. Wisdom Sage says check it out. Next up on my list of horror movies that I watched over the weekend while stricken with COVID, Night of the Comet. I think I've mentioned this one before.
Yeah, I think I
watched
remember
it
that.
again. Yes. 1984. This one stars Kelly Maroney, Catherine Mary Stewart, and Robert Beltran, as some of our listeners may recognize as Commander Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager. After a rare comet sighting, teen sisters Regina and Samantha find that they're the only survivors of a zombie attack. The girls partner with another survivor, Hector, played by Robert Beltran. But as they try to avoid the zombies, they're sought by scientists who want to experiment on their bodies in the hopes of finding an antidote. Dodging both the doctors and the undead, they keep moving in the hope they can continue to stay alive. 4 stars. Wisdom Sage says, check it out. This is a classic horror film. I highly recommend it. It's relatively safe as far, it's not super gory. It's not got a lot of, really blatant language or nudity in it, but it's a fun watch and a definite representative of the time, 1984. A lot of good tropey stuff. There's the obligatory shootout at the mall scene, which is always fun. And so I do recommend that one. The next one on my list is Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall from 1986, starring the aforementioned Kelly Maroney, who was also in Night of the Comet. There's some teenagers, of course, partying after hours in a friend's dad's furniture store at the mall. They find themselves being hunted by malfunctioning Sentinel robots that had recently been deployed in the mall and that went self-aware and started killing everyone.
Would you like to know your horoscope?
Maybe not that subtle. These look more like robots from Battlestar Galactica on tank treads.
Okay.
But very good movie. Highly recommended. Another really good sign of the times. Takes place in the same mall that was used for Fast Times at Ridgemont High and various other malls.
Blues Brothers
in 80s movies. It might have been the mall from the Blues Brothers. It could have been. I don't know. But it's a fun movie. 3.5 stars. Was in Sage says check it out. And my final choice horror movies for this week. Since we haven't been in the horror hole very much lately, I decided to really, open it up.
It's gaping.
If you will. So it is all but gaping.
You've
this
goatsied
week.
the horror hole this week.
I have. The last one I'm going to mention as far as these horror movies are concerned is a movie called Tourist Trap from 1979 featuring Chuck Connors and Tanya Roberts. 4 people go in search of their missing friend. Out in the woods, of course, what they find is Slausen's lost oasis. A mannequin dressed up for a museum, almost like a wax museum, in a seemingly abandoned mansion owned by gentle old Mr. Slausen. He agrees to help with their car trouble. But some of the girls decide to look for a working phone inside the haunted mansion, even though he tells them not to. Hidden within the house is Mr. Slausen's misunderstood mask-hidden younger brother. What they learn is that the mannequins seem very much alive. Or is there something much more terrifying behind the mask? Ooh. I think House of Wax meets kind of Friday the 13th. It's a pretty entertaining movie. I liked it. I given it 3 stars. Was in Seychelles. Check it out. If you're looking for a good long horror 80s, early to mid 80s horror film fest, those are 4 solid choices.
What was the last one called again?
Tourist Trap from 1979. I was 6. I have been watching a show on Apple TV Plus called Manhunt. This is actually turned out to be a really entertaining show about the story of the hunt for John Wilkes Booth after he assassinates President Lincoln.
Allegedly.
Really good. Allegedly, yeah. Really good story, really good cast. Most notably in the cast that I think you guys would recognize is Patton Oswalt. He's in this one.
Okay.
And I've really enjoyed it. It's not quite finished yet, so I'm going to hold off on giving my final rating until then. And then also my last note for my shit I've watched summary of this week. When I get sick, my go-to show is Parks and Rec, and I have watched a lot of Parks and Rec this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And I think that might be a good topic for a short draft is what do you guys like to watch on TV when you're sick? So maybe
that is a good idea.
Maybe we could work through that one when we get to that point. But I've talked long enough about myself and all the things I do to waste time. Fellas, what have y'all been up to?
Well, I just got back from a really long work trip. I thought that I was going to, out of all of us, I thought I was probably the most likely candidate for COVID. So I am surprised that it wasn't me.
There's still time.
There is still time. I haven't been feeling super great today. But I just kind of chalked that up to just feeling run down. I was in Dallas. We put a meeting on, and it was pretty big. It was a pretty big meeting, and we've got a small staff, and It was a lot. It was like 14-hour days.
Good.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, but I did get out a little bit on the first day that we got in, after setup doesn't take that long, so, got a little bit of time and went to go see, where, JFK was assassinated. Cause that was within walking
Allegedly.
distance. Right. Allegedly. Yep.
The gunslinger?
The last gunslinger, some might say.
Oh,
The last gunslinger. Yeah.
So that was neat. I didn't have time to go into the museum. They had like a self-guided tour inside the book repository. I don't know which one it is. But I did. I ate at a really weird. I ate at a really weird restaurant. I wanted Mexican food, and there was one nearby. There was one within walking distance called RJ's Authentic Mexican. And yeah, right. So it's like, okay, sure. I went to that, and it was, so we walk in and we're greeted by an Indian host, and it's like, okay. And then we sit down, and then an Indian waiter takes our order. It's like, okay. I look to the bar. There's an Indian bartender. It's like, all right. Kind of look to my left. There's other people in this restaurant. There are other customers, and like I was like, all these waiters are Indian. Like, okay, the chips come out, and the salsa is in a very Indian restaurant style. Like, you know what I'm talking about. It's like this
Like
silver
a
bowl.
copper handled dish.
It's got like a ring for a handle. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. So, how long ago was this an Indian restaurant? Because it had to have been recently. It was hilarious. The food wasn't bad, but it was. I'd say it's a stretch to call it authentic Mexican.
I'd fuck with Indian Mexican food.
But see, that's what I was saying. I was telling the other people at the table, I was like, they should market this as a fusion restaurant, because it did not taste like Mexican food. Like, I mean, it was Mexican food, but like it definitely, there was curry for sure, like in the rice, and like for sure there was, and like the refried beans as well. And like I ordered shrimp tacos. They were good, but like they came like with, I don't know what Tyler, you might know what these are, but they're like these little like green sprouts. I've seen it in Indian food before. But like that was on it. It looked like they grew it in the basement. It was interesting. It was interesting. And then I had some good. Then what's funny is the next night I was like, well, fuck, now I want like straight up Indian food. so I ordered some Indian food from a local place there that was really good.
You went to an Indian restaurant. They were all Mexicans. Damn,
I know, right? Yeah, and all the I got the red curry. It tasted like cilantro. It was totally fucked up. But no, I got the chicken vindaloo there. It was really good.
I think the sprout you're talking about is fenugreek.
Fenugreek? I can look that up. I'm at a computer.
Fenugreek.
Oh my God. What is again? Fen?
Fenugreek. I know they used it fresh and dried.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I looked it up. Yeah, and then there's the last night there I had some really good pizza from a place. The reason I remember the name of it is because it's the family name from the Goonies. It was E.
Chinese
Fratelli's.
pizza.
It was, man. I'd fuck with Chinese pizza. I wouldn't even play, but it was really good. Yeah.
I'm glad. That's always the best part of any trip for me. So I'm glad you had good food.
Yeah, and trying to do it and staying true to a diet is really tough. But but I got back and lost a pound. So there's that.
Hey, hell yeah.
Hey.
So fuck, I could have eaten more. And other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 as I can. I can't remember the last update I gave on that, but I'm through the MSQ and I'm like catching up on some old content now, to get like the relic weapon and stuff like that. And then I'm working my way through the Dark Tower, book 7. I am 2/3 of the way through. I would be done with it, but 2 things happened back to back. And I was like, I'm going to take about a week off. And I did, because it's like I've dealt with some loss recently. And I'm just going to put this on, just going to pause that for a little bit. But I'm back on it. And it's a book.
It is a book. You got that part right.
It's a book. It's a book, and I can tell you that I love how crazy it was in the beginning, and then I feel like I'm in a valley right now. And we'll see what's on the other side of that. So
I had mentioned to you that I got to tell you, I finished this book last week, and man, it took me to a sad place too. And it's just one of those things where I was right. I remembered the ending.
Oh yeah.
I didn't remember anything else about that book. I don't know what happened. I must have blacked out. Must have blocked it from my memory or something. I don't know, but it's a tough one. It's tough, and we'll have a lot to talk about. Tyler, how far along are you in the Dark Tower?
I'm about 1/3 of the way through Song of Susanna.
Okay,
I finished
there.
Wolves and made a decent little chunk the last few days in Song of Susanna.
Okay.
And then I need to once I get to see you guys, I'll give you my copy of The Long Road Home. It is a very, very interesting read about the boys' journey back from Magus to Gilead.
Shimi?
Oh, okay.
Shimi is in it, yes.
Okay.
I think he's talking about the Roland and Cuthbert and Elaine.
Oh, okay.
After they left Magus and headed back to Gilead.
Making it back with Maryland's grapefruit in tow and all the fucked up shit that happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they sort of gloss over that in Wizard and Glass, with and how Roland was
there's a good
effectively
reason.
Obsessed with it. Yeah.
There's a good reason why they don't talk about it, which I imagine they explained it after the fact, as opposed to being pre-planned. But
and that's the comic.
Yeah, one of the comics. I'm also looking. I'm probably going to bid on a set I'm looking at right now that details the Battle of Jericho Hill, and a comic that is called Guide to Gilead, that details their society and the Midworld gods and all that.
That's
Looks
cool.
like good research.
Yeah, Dane, Backlog Banisher Dane, he had mentioned he read the series about the Battle of Jericho Hill. He said it didn't do it for him, and I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to read it or not. I don't know. On one hand, I like the writer, Peter David, but then again, I don't know. It just seems like I just wish it was a book. I mean, I love comics, but
Yep. I agree 100%.
It just kind of feels like one of those things where it's like, well, if it was really important, wouldn't it be a book?
Yeah.
Considering, not to say that comics aren't important, but considering the other ones are books, I don't know.
Nope, I completely agree with you.
Plus, it's kind of nice to imagine the stuff as opposed to being shown the stuff.
And I don't love the art style in the comic in the series that I have. I think the art style is pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't. It's not my thing either, to be honest with you. But I would like to at least give them a shot before just kind of dismissing them.
Because I do know there is some stuff, and then doing some research. What happens, at least in that one, is canonical. So it had one tidbit of information that I was surprised to find out.
Okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting through it. I just have a little ways to go, and it's honestly been kind of slow going. I've been listening to it here and there, and I've just been busy. And then it's also something that like I've listened to alone. So when I'm with, Nikki and family, I don't really listen to it. We've been watching Shangri-La Frontier. I've been catching up on that, and almost caught up because I think that season is over. That's a really good show. That's the one. That's the VR MMO one, and they had like this recently, like this 4-episode long arc with a unique monster. So that was kind of neat. But that's it. That's it. That's all the stuff I've been doing. Mm-hmm. What about you, Tyler?
Let's see. I think I talked about getting the Gutsy Bat last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and then I started streaming Hollow Knight. That's been fun to get back into that.
So are you done with Earthbound? Did you finish that?
Yep.
Cool.
As soon as I got the Gutsy Bat, I went and finished it, and I haven't gotten everything in one single run, but now I have gotten everything in that game that it has to offer across multiple playthroughs.
Did you get the Crusagram?
Hell yeah, dude. Got 4 of them. But I think and that's the thing, there's so much more you can do with like Final Fantasy VI. I know there are Earthbound randomizers, but there's not as much. It's pretty linear, so there's not a lot you can build on Earthbound. So I do like that, at least with Final Fantasy VI, there's a lot more to go, because I think I'm pretty done with Earthbound for the foreseeable future. But yeah, Hollow Knight's attracted more people to the stream than I've ever had at one time, which has been cool. So I just have to get good again, because I was pretty good at it, because it's a fucking hard game. So
I can't play it. It's too hard for me. So my hat's off to you for being able to get as far as you got, because I remember you talking about it before.
Yeah, there are 2 bosses I didn't clear in the final expansion. So it's you can clear it at 112%, and I was like at 111. So, but this run, I really want to keep pushing through and clear all those bosses.
Yeah, you had inspired me to give it a shot, and then I was like, nope, I suck at this. So I may I may tune in and watch you play it just to get that fix.
You should. I'd appreciate it. Besides that, not anything. Anna was nominated for Miss MSU. We went and watched that. She got, out of all the people, she ended up getting 4th place. So
okay, nice.
She did very
That's awesome.
well.
Congrats to her.
Yeah, that's about it. So it's been just work and that. So not a whole lot more to tell for me. You guys want to do some dry Fs?
Sure.
So let's see. I figure we can since we have a lot to go through, I don't have any dice in here. We'll just round robin, and the next person just floats down the line. Figure we'll start Dave, Ian, then me, and then the second draft will be Ian, me, then Dave, and so on and so on. So we've got
keep track of it.
We've got a big list. Ian, what was the one that you offered up? Things to watch when you're sick.
Yeah.
We want to start with that one?
I'm good with
Sure,
that.
I think that'll be fine. Yeah.
All right. Things to watch when you're sick. Dave.
I mean, I don't do it anymore, but definitely did it a bunch as a kid. The Price is Right was always the show that I looked forward to watching when I was sick as a kid.
Yep. You took mine,
good pick.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the perk I mean, the real perk of being sick was not going to school, but like the second perk was getting to watch The Price is Right, because that was a treat.
Yes.
Ian.
Well, I've already given away my top answer. It's going to be Parks and Rec. I love watching. I like watching sitcoms in general, especially when I'm sick, because you don't have to spend a lot of time and energy to watch them. And they're. I like Parks and Rec. Just makes me smile. It makes me happy. So I'm gonna stick with that as my first choice. Parks and Rec.
My first choice. I'm only going to pick it for number one, because it's probably what I saw the most of sick as a kid, staying home from school. I definitely didn't enjoy it, but my mother enjoyed it. There wasn't a ton on, so I ended up watching so fucking much of, and it's going to be The Days of Our Lives.
Yes, I got it. I knew you were going there.
Like sands through the hourglass.
So are the days of our lives.
I remember watching it and then getting better and going back to school and being like, did you see where Sammy slapped her sister? Holy shit.
Used to watch a lot of Days of Our Lives on campus at Murray State. Because I drove into Paducah. I drove into Murray State from Paducah every day for a long time. And so I couldn't really go anywhere, and I just had to go sit at the student center between some classes, and that was always on. It was Days of Our Lives. So I got really up to speed on that show in my college years. That show's still on. It's just streaming on Peacock now.
Which especially my maternal grandmother, who I called Nanny, and that is what my mom is now to my kids. She's Nanny. My nanny would have a palpable, visceral reaction if I even just mentioned Stefano's name. Holy shit. Like she would just have, she took it, my whole family did, like just mention Stefano and the mood would just turn in the room. And then Melissa, of course, met him because he'd always come to the telethon every year when that was the big thing in the executive end back in the day here in Paducah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Telethon of Stars.
General Hospital was my jam back in college. I was dating a girl who she loved watching General Hospital. So by proxy, I loved watching General Hospital. I did get to the point where I actually legitimately did enjoy it. So, I mean, there's that. It's kind of like comic books, but but not.
It's like wrestling, but for women. See, Dave, number two.
I would say usually when I'm sick, Henry's at school and Nikki's at work, or so it has been. So I will go with NSFW Reddit.
Nice.
Nice. Ian, number two.
I don't get sick a lot anymore, to the point of having to stay at home. But so I'm kind of thinking in terms of under the circumstances, if it were to happen again, probably I would watch hours of someone streaming Overwatch gameplay on Twitch.
Valid. My number two will be one of the more bingeable shows that I had starting in high school. That I would watch whenever I remember being at home and not feeling well. Just Friends.
Yeah.
Dave, number three.
Number three for me would be I kind of get on these like nostalgia kicks, I guess, because like the last time when I had COVID, I remember like feeling. I mean, it wasn't really bad for me. I was just really, really tired. Like the fatigue hit really, really hard. And I remember I was like, I was in bed and I was like, I just want to watch Snick. That's all I want to do. I just want. So I looked up Snick on on YouTube, and it was like from the era of Snick there when I was like not watching it because I was like I had aged out of it already. So like there were some shows that I knew, but there were also some that I didn't. But I was like also sleeping while I was watching it, so I would like drift in and out and wake up and be watching, I don't know, some show that it felt really weird to watch. It felt incredibly weird to watch children's programming as an adult, and it wasn't children's programming from my childhood. It was like, I don't know. It felt wrong on a level, you know, like, I was going to get a call and someone was going to ask, are you watching this with a child or, do we need to alert the authorities? So yes, Saturday Night Nickelodeon is my number 3.
Because I remember loving, Danny Tamborelli. That era of Snick was like, that's where I knew I'd aged out.
Yeah.
When he had moved from Pete and Pete over.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Ian, number 3.
It's hard to pin down one in particular, but I am going to pick a genre. And I'll pick one thing. One specific thing I can say that I do enjoy watching when I'm sick or down and just got nothing else. I just kind of want to zone out. Law and Order, Special Victims Unit.
Doom, doom.
There's hundreds of episodes of the show. And as much as I've seen it in the past, somehow I always manage to find some that I haven't seen because I never watched it like on TV, you know, as a weekly routine kind of thing. It just was always running on some channel like, you know, USA or something. And so I like watching SVU because it's great to just sort of have it going in the background, and you can fall asleep during one episode and wake up halfway through another and maybe don't even realize that it's a different episode.
It's still Ice Cube being weirded out by whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Thinking about John Mulaney's bit that whole time. You mean to tell me this guy gets off on little girls with pigtails?
Ice-T's character plays Fortnite in SVU.
Really?
Or their equivalent of, you know, whatever. He's definitely, and he plays it on an iPhone, like sitting at a cafe. And of course he's whipping everyone's ass and making, like, you know, comments about it. And I'm just like, you're not doing that well on mobile, on cellular.
He needs to be a skin in Fortnite.
That would be amazing.
I'm looking up to see if he actually is.
Yeah. If he's not, I think we know what we need to do is petition for it.
It looks like somebody has created an AI art of Ice-T as a Fortnite character, which is, I mean, pretty good. I'll post that. Post that in her chat. You can be the judge.
Oh, I love it. That's wonderful.
I'd buy that for $1.
So for my number 3, I think I've talked about before where, you know, I watched a lot of TV, played a lot of games. My dad hated it. He just wanted me to be vaguely outside. You know, he wouldn't watch me or anything with me. He just wanted me to be outside. I could be fucking doing whatever. He didn't give a shit as long as it's outside and not in the house. It's the bad place. In the house. You don't be in the house. So he paid me
cancer.
Pretty much. Didn't give a shit. Just be outside. Which it was different.
You sat outside the living room window and watched TV.
Basically.
Through the window.
It's not like I didn't have, and then if like I would go play with my friends who would get mad at me for being too far, it was just like, just sit in the backyard and do nothing until I'm done with work. And then you can go inside and watch boxing with me. Like, still infuriates me how little understanding he was about anything. But he gave me $100 to only watch an hour of TV or video games for a whole month. I did it. Happy, got my $100. I was like, I'm going to do this again so I can save up and do whatever I wanted to do at the time. I remember I made it for a little while, and then I got where I wasn't feeling well on a Sunday afternoon. Even sick, didn't matter. It was not under hiatus. But so I remember watching, and I had to watch it. I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Watching a Wienerville marathon that I was willing to give up $100 as a fourth grader in order to watch this show. So my number 3 will be Wienerville.
Nice.
All
I
right.
remember those marathons, man.
Fuck yes.
You were in fourth grade. I remember being in middle school watching those. I think I was probably in like 7th grade.
I'll watch clips now and still like, I could see where I like this. It's weird that this 50-year-old man doing all these characters was a hit, but
I thought it was great. I haven't seen it recently, but I mean, I remember being, I thought it was so bizarre and wonderful.
But Dave, your number 4.
My number 4 would be, there's a YouTube channel called Dave's Archives, and it's not me, Dave. It's another Dave. He's a member of the club. It's old commercials from like the 80s and the 90s. People send tapes into him. He finds tapes and then he digitizes them and puts them up on YouTube. And there's some really, really great stuff in there that I like completely forgot about. It's nice to see those like commercials where it's like, fuck, man, I remember seeing this commercial so much, like during like Letterman or something, and it's like I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I've spent a little time on Dave's Archives myself, and that is a rabbit hole because I will go down it just like crazy and just be nostalgic for hours.
I love it. It's such a great idea for a channel. And, he does it so well and finds a lot of good stuff. And it's great when they have like the local commercials mixed in there too. Like that's fantastic. Like one of my favorite things about traveling is seeing some of their local TV, like wherever I am.
Me too. I love that.
It's definitely like, I don't know. It's definitely like a Dark Tower style experience where it's like cause a wheel. So it's like, this is their version of Rukavina or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yes. How do these people watch this every day?
I had to step away for a second. You talking about WPSD?
Oh, we were talking about local TV.
Okay. Because Ron Beaton was my fucking hero as a kid.
Local TV in different cities.
I did like watching that in the
some
hotel
of the
room.
Old commercials. Yeah.
But what, Ian, your number 4? Was it local TV?
My number 4 would be kind of more of a genre than a specific show, but like old like 70s crime, 70s and 80s like crime dramas or action shows like
Dragnet
in the heat of the night, Dragnet, Cagney and Lacey, even going so far as to like into stuff like Knight Rider and A-Team, you know, where there's like a story, like a mystery to be solved, or
cop dramas.
Yeah, cop kind of dramas,
Cop rock,
like that. Cop rock.
Cop rock.
But yeah, I always like watching, especially the older stuff from like the 70s and stuff, because it's just really great to zone out to.
Because I resisted it at first, and then because Nick at Night played it so much, I got to love Dragnet a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's probably the only thing.
Show.
The only thing from that era that you're talking about that I can watch. Everything else I don't like, but Dragnet, I'll fuck with Dragnet.
Yeah, Dragnet rules.
Dragnet holds up. It's a great fucking show, and I love the little monologue they do at the beginning of each show. You know, just really good shit. I love Dragnet.
Let me add that to my show notes. Dragnet monologue.
Yeah, for the show notes, we definitely need the Nick at Night spot where they talk about Joe Friday not moving his arms when he walks.
Yep, I'll never. That's a core fucking memory.
Yeah,
I'll never forget it. He's also that actor who plays Friday. I'll never forget him being on Johnny Carson doing tongue twisters. If I can find that. Oh, man. He's so fucking amazing at them. And he's in character like he's interviewing Johnny Carson like he's a criminal, like a bit on the show. And just Johnny Carson will say like, oh, this is what happened. And this is what happened. This is what happened. And Friday puts it together. Like, so you're saying Kathy took her copper clappers to the like, and strings every little thing he's going together like one big, like 2-minute tongue twister. I remember watching it in school and thinking it was the best thing.
Do you remember the Mark 7 like production where they're like the dude's like hammering the plate onto the
ding ding.
Yes. Damn, that was a core memory for me. I hadn't thought about that in a long time. I love it.
Let's see. Number 4 for me. I remember watching it in DC when I was sick after getting very into it with you, Dave. So I'm going to throw OG Naruto for my number 4. So we were watching it on weekends home with you, and then I just picked up and bought like the first. Basically, there are 20 seasons of Naruto, 10 of which are not filler. So I remember I bought those 10 and would watch those.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that you'd bought those.
Mm-hmm. I don't have many more. I sold them to, McKay's in Nashville.
Mm.
But I had bought them, and one of them I bought was a special edition that came with a Sand Village headband that I still have.
Oh,
my Sand Village dice bag, necklace, and headband.
Gotcha. I didn't know that. I remember you having that headband, but I didn't know that it came with the DVD. That's cool.
Believe it.
Dot to buy. Oh, Dave, number 5.
I'm gonna go with Family Feud.
Good one.
Yeah, Family Feud specifically. I mean, any game show I feel like is good for when you're sick, but Family Feud is special because there's so much to choose from, so many different eras of Family Feud, so many different hosts. So yeah, Family Feud.
Ian, number 5.
I'd have to say my number 5 on this one is gonna have to be like again, more of a genre than anything. The sort of the house flipping shows on like HGTV and stuff. Those are great to just sort of zone out and watch and see these unrealistic, house flips that these people are clearly sweating how much money they've invested into this and are absolutely not going to get that much money back when they turn around to sell the house, especially the ones where the couples are doing it and they inevitably fight over everything, and it's really tense and awkward, and that they are hamming it up. Each one of them is hamming it up a little bit for the show, and then it just makes me laugh to think you guys are creating drama for a television show about fixing up houses to turn around and sell them. So, yeah, that's always entertaining to zone out and watch when I'm sick.
What am I going to wrap up number 5 with? What I remember binging hard. I remember watching the hell out of it, being sick when I had spinal meningitis my last week of my first semester of culinary school. So I'm going to grab that 70s show.
Hanging out.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And now looking back and knowing all the weird behavior and drama that went on with that fucking show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's his name? He's turned out to be a real piece of work, isn't he?
Yep.
He's in actual jail as we speak.
Convicted rapist, actual life in prison.
Yes.
Yeah. Danny Masterson is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is who I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's
what was it?
Shit like that sucks, man. Like in general,
Yeah.
obviously it sucks. Like, those crimes are horrible. But like when it taints something where it's like, well, fuck, man, I like that show. It's like Cosby, where it's like, fuck, I love the Cosby Show growing up. And it's like, I can't watch that the same way anymore.
Have you guys seen any of the show, the Quiet on Set show that they did with the whole Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon and all that stuff?
I want to see that, but I haven't.
It's hard to watch.
I
believe it.
And I can. It's fucked up because they cover all the stuff. Amanda Bynes and Drake from Drake and Josh. I think it was him.
I remember I've seen on TikTok all the fucked up shit with like Jeanette McCurdy and Ariana Grande,
McCurdy
like the feet stuff and
yeah.
Jesus.
It was super, super bad stuff that was going on that the kids really, for the most part, didn't even know, but also they were being like worked to death and made to sort of bow down to the greatness that is Dan Schneider and all this shit. And they aired this thing and then talked about how it fucked up all these kids' lives. And then he had the audacity to air like a rebuttal, which was horse shit. It was utter horse shit. And they had a follow-up episode of that show, I think it was last night, where just even more kind of shit came out about what happened. And one of the things that one of the former stars of like, especially on All That, had said was that, they had been hearing from all their fans and all this stuff reaching out saying it's weird because, we're hearing about how like now all of our childhood memories are fucked up because we loved watching your show and now we feel bad. And it's a bad situation. So watch with caution, especially if you're a 90s kid who is into the Nick stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff that I saw that I remember watching and not really picking up on. And I was an adult at the time, but I remember watching it and not picking up on that. Now I go back and watch it again in these specials and I think, Jesus, that was fucked up. So, that'll do a number on you if you're not careful.
Because going back to the Danny Masterson stuff about like, and Ashton and Mila writing like letters in his defense, like defending the rape, like it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I get why Topher Grace is like,
that's weird.
No, I don't like these people. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to come back after the fact and sort of apologize, and they sort of tried to gloss it over and say, well, it's because he hadn't been convicted and we believed that he was being genuine, that he didn't do it, and it was kind of bullshit, honestly, but whatever.
Do we have honorable mentions?
Dave covered my honorable mention with Price is Right. That was always my, the game shows on CBS in the morning when I was homesick from school. Shit, I didn't miss those.
I'll throw in Malcolm, link it to that 70s show through the Masterson family, but I'll throw in Malcolm in the Middle because I also between that 70s show, Malcolm in the Middle, and Everybody Loves Raymond for my last spot.
Cartoon Network for me quite a bit when I was like in high school and sick. I remember there being days where it's like just watching whatever was on Cartoon Network or Comedy Central. Mystery Science Theater 3000. I mean, that's a show that I watch anyway, but when I was sick, it's a good sick show too.
Daria, I guess too. I remember the big sometimes in the afternoons, like on Sundays or something. That would show big marathons of Daria. We're watching that in a lot of slow, not feeling too well Sundays after church.
Now, back in the 80s, there was a lot of MTV watching being done during sick hours. So that was nice. Is you just turn on MTV and then go to sleep. And then
Right.
it's just music.
That makes sense.
Well, what do we want to do next? We've got, let's see, Disney villains, courtesy of Phil. Phil sent us several.
Thank you, Phil.
Disney villains. So I kind of picked out what I thought would be most viable.
Okay.
Disney villains, countries to visit, and Spielberg movies.
I'm okay to do them in that order.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you guys are,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll start with Disney villains. Ian, number 1.
Man, I am not prepared. Let me think. Until I can get a little bit better in my head about it, I'm gonna have to go with Jafar as my number 1.
Jafar is
a
a
good
good
pick.
one. He was going to be my number 2. So I'll claim my number 1 with Hades from Hercules.
All right.
I think James Woods is a piece of shit, but he was really good as Hades.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Dave, number 1.
man, I was worried someone was going to take Scar because I really super wanted Scar as my first pick. I just recently saw a meme about him that I sent to Nikki, where it's like it was, what was Scar's name before he got his scar, which I kind of thought was a joke, but like there's a fun random Disney fact that before Scar got his scar, his name was Taka, which means
Oh, wow.
garbage. So his
Oh,
parents,
damn.
his parents named his brother King and him Garbage.
Damn.
Kind of no blame Scar. It's like, okay, I see where you're coming from now.
Kind of tracks, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I love the meme of it's like it has something to do with like anal when you're not used to it, and it's Mufasa whenever Scar buries his claws into him in the wall and he's grimacing.
Yeah.
And it's like anal when you're finally used to it, and it's the Scar making that like cooing face when he's in the hyena hideouts.
I thought it was like the wildebeest tar pit.
So yeah, that's it.
No, I just mean anal in general.
That's what we call it. It depends on the old wildebeest tar pits.
There's some bones in here.
Why is the tar gritty?
It's the tar pit of the beach.
Ian, number 2.
My number 2, I'm going to pick Captain Hook.
Nice.
Good one. Good
He was
one.
Man.
on my list for sure. Good pick.
Preferably the Dustin Hoffman Captain Hook, even though that
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
necessarily
Oh,
Disney
okay.
affiliated. But
Yeah.
I do like that character.
He
a
is
lot.
fucking great. And I love that they both came out and said, he and Smee, that no, they're in love. They're lovers.
Yeah.
My number 2 will be who performs my favorite Disney villain song of all time, which is Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh,
So that
good.
is Frollo the priest. I think Frollo is a great. I think that is Disney's darkest fucking movie, and Frollo one of its darkest, more complicated. I mean, it's a villain song where he's condemning a gypsy to hell because she won't fuck him. So all right, Disney.
Yeah.
And even a
They're
song,
like, we didn't make up these stories though. We didn't make them up. We're just telling them the way they came out. They're old stories.
It's a tale as old as time.
Dave, number 2.
Ursula. Ursula, it scared me as a child when it came out. And yeah, I think Ursula's like got a crazy, good character design.
Oh yeah.
And I remember her eating those shrimp. It's like that just lives in my head rent free, as some of the people say.
You also remember one of the few times Josh told me that he, as a kid, ran out of the movie crying from how scared he was of Ursula.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm a little bit braver than Josh, I guess, but I mean, she's scary.
And then of course, like Kenna was never afraid of Ursula because remember showing it to her as a baby, and Ursula comes on screen and Kenna just goes nanny. So like, was not afraid of her. My mom has been on Ozempic. She does not resemble Ursula any longer, but I can see where she would have thought that a long time ago.
Still has the tentacles, but
still has the tentacles. Yeah. Ian, number 3.
Number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Cruella de Vil.
Good choice.
101 Dalmatians. See my vest. See my vest. Oh wait, that was Mr. Burns. Sorry.
Hold on just a second, guys. What'd you say? The door is locked? There's an animal? There's an animal. All right. Melissa had to come in through the window beside the computer because there's an animal of some sort blocking our door. Our back
like
door.
Sam. Clarissa explains it all.
Exactly. All right. Sorry, Ian. Cruella de Vil.
Yes.
Have you seen the Emma Stone version?
I have not seen that, but I've heard good things, so I probably will watch that at some point.
Yeah, Melissa really liked it. My number 3, I'm going to take a page out of Aziz Ansari's playbook and say the Icelandic hockey team from the Mighty Ducks 2.
Good pick.
Which I learned on a TikTok that Iceland at the time did not even have a hockey team. They just picked a country they didn't want to pick Russia, so they just picked a team that sounded like it would have a good hockey team and did not have one at the time. So it made as little sense as possible for it to be a championship team from Iceland. Dave, number 3.
Ian mentioned him earlier. I'll go with Mr. Burns.
Oh,
see,
good.
I was gonna say, are we dipping into the whole Disney franchises now? We got Darth Vader's in there now.
Yep.
But if you want me to stick to classic Disney villains, I could do that.
Magneto,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can have Mr. Burns. That's a perfectly reasonable villain choice.
I'll switch. I just wanted to point out how open it is because it's like Thanos next, I guess.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah.
I'll go with Shere Khan. He's a great villain in the Jungle Book and also in Tailspin. So
yeah, he is.
You actually took my next one with Shere Khan. So
damn.
Good pick.
Ian, what's your number 4?
Oh, there's plenty to choose from. Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any iteration in particular?
Again, not necessarily Disney affiliated, but the oh God, what's her name? The one with the Alice in Wonderland that has Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter.
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter. Thank you very much. Yeah, she's particularly bad and also comically so. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I always thought these mean women going after the pretty young things and because they're jealous.
Oh, I remember watching an interview with her, and she was talking about how the Queen of Hearts rules her kingdom based on providing everyone with instant gratification. So she based her portrayal of the character off of having zero patience because her whole thing is immediate and instant gratification. And I always thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
My number 4 will be a character that Jack loves, but I feel like is definitely a long-term Disney villain, which is Pete the Cat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still the pseudo-villain in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse that he watches. They do still invite him to stuff and get along with him, but Jack cracks up anytime Pete's on screen. So definitely Pete. And then that was 4. Dave, you had 4. So is this, did we get out of order somewhere? Dave was, or
I think it's my turn.
okay. Yeah, it is your turn, but I had,
think I'm 5 and then, yeah, I don't know.
at some point we got out of order. Oh well, Dave, 5.
I'm going to go with, if I have to choose one, I will. But I'm going to go with the Beagle Boys from DuckTales as a collective.
I think they
villain.
are a group. I think Ma Beagle is separate, but the Beagle Boys as a trio are definitely to be considered one.
So yeah, the Beagle Boys. I could do 10
Very
if you
good
guys
one.
wanted to.
Ian, number 5.
Well, I'm going to continue on my sort of my theme that I've been on inadvertently here and say the evil queen from Snow White.
Oh, is that
Maleficent?
Maleficent? Yes.
Or is that Cinderella? I get those two confused all the time.
Oh, actually, yeah, that is Maleficent.
That's a very, very good one. Because she's still like prime evil, top tier shit.
Yeah, and she has no reason to be this way. She's just mean for the sake of being mean.
Because I remember what the Cinema Sins over the Maleficent movie was talking about how like Maleficent's Angelina Jolie and she wants to kill Kristen Stewart. How does this make any sense? Why is she jealous of her beauty? I don't get it. 10 sins. My number 5 will be Xanatos, that he is the billionaire villain from the Gargoyles cartoon.
Ah, okay.
He even has a TV trope named after him called the Xanatos Gambit, which is any move you make somehow profits him. Even if you think it's a winning move against him, somehow he still wins. Even if you win, you somehow lose. And then Dave, you had the Beagle Boys, so that's 5 from each of us. Any honorable mentions?
Yes. Mr. Boogedy from the Disney TV movie titled Mr. Boogedy.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. It's a good one when you're 7 years old in 1988. I can tell you that much. I have rewatched it. I still liked it. The rest of my family, however, maybe not so much. Henry definitely did not. But yeah, man, Mr. Boogedy, bespectacled host says, check it out. 4 stars. And then Madam Mim from The Sword and the Stone.
Okay.
I like the wizard duel in that movie where they start polymorphing into different animals.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a couple. Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
From Robin Hood.
I almost went with Prince John.
Yeah, Prince John's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
The Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. wouldn't exactly call Cheshire Cat a villain, but he's always up to something. I never trusted him.
He's an agent of chaos.
The point. Yeah, he is an agent of chaos. And I think that's got me covered.
So we want to move on to countries to visit.
Sure.
Sure.
Here, let me reorganize my notes here. Because I'm sort of just clearing out the same space, so I'm keeping track so I know. It's my go at number 1. So my number 1 place that I really want to go, basically just to do an eating tour, because of everything that I've heard about it, and then everything I saw Anthony Bourdain do with it. My number 1 destination is Vietnam.
I have a friend whose wife is from Vietnam, and he has gone there a couple of times since they've been married, and he really enjoys it.
Yeah, I hear it's like it's nice, it's beautiful, the food's amazing, and super fucking cheap.
It's super cheap was the thing he said the most to me, was like you can practically live there for a fraction of the cost of what it costs to visit anywhere else.
Well, I remember the place that I interned after culinary school. Sadly, Asiatique is no longer there. They sold it off. But I worked. Asiatique was a Malaysian fusion, and most of the cooks were Vietnamese. And I know I've told this story before several times, but I still, every time I talk about Vietnam, it pops into my head about one of the other interns asking the wok cook, have you ever been with 2 girls at once? And he looked at me, laughed, like 2? No, like 4 or 5. Prostitutes in Vietnam, very cheap. Very, very cheap. Dave, you're number 1.
I can't believe I got Japan, but Japan for sure.
Japan was my number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different reasons. There are a lot of different places in Japan I'd like to visit. I mean, obviously Tokyo, of course, but also, Hokkaido, for something like Sapporo, and there's a lot of cool spots there. It's one of those places where it's like when we talk about traveling there, which we have done, it's like, God, we're gonna take so much time. It's because I mean, because you travel
at least
that
2
far.
weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like at least 2 weeks. Yeah.
Ian, you're number 1.
My number 1 is going to be Scotland. I've always wanted to go there.
Very good.
I have roots. My mother's side of the family is very much, I can trace my lineage back to damn near royalty in Scotland, back as far as Robert the Bruce. I am actually a distant cousin, very, 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 very distant cousin of Robert the Bruce. My mother's maiden name is Cummings. Hell yeah. I'm royalty, fellas. My mother's maiden name is Cummings, and that can be traced back to a clan, the clan Comyn, Comyn, back in the 14th century, which had direct ties, familial ties to Robert the Bruce. So I've always wanted to go. My uncle and his family went there couple of years ago. It's been actually quite a while since they went. And it was funny. He said when he was there, he never expected this, but it felt like home to him. Like he felt as if he belonged there when he was there. And I've always wanted to go there myself and see if that's the case for me, and see if that rings true across family lines that way. So yeah, Scotland is my number 1 pick.
I kind of on that same sort of wavelength that my family traces back to, and after taking a 23andMe, so does Melissa's, more than she thought, because she thought she had mainly German roots, but it turns out we're both Irish as fuck. So I'm going to put Ireland as my number 2. Dave, number 2.
My number 2 is Australia. I'd like to go to Australia. I know there's lots of things out there that will kill you, but that's okay. I've never been there, and they have a lot of I don't know. I want to go to places that are very different.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Australia was going to be my number 2 as well. Just it looks like a fascinating country, and yeah, it is dangerous as fuck. But I would love to go as well.
Well, what is your number 2 then, Ian?
My number 2, and this is really going to seem like not much of a variation, but I really want to go to England, specifically London.
That's on my list as well. So
I would love to go there and experience that. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that it would be nice to know that I could go to a foreign country where I speak the language and be able to get around probably easier simply because I speak English, at least a version of English, that would probably be less of a barrier. One of the things I've always been afraid of when it comes to traveling to other countries is the language barrier and having trouble getting around and not being able to, communicate effectively. But I also know that there's most of the places, like Australia, for example, they speak English there. And then I know in Japan, it's probably easier to get around as an English speaker than maybe it used to be, because I know it's taught there. So it's probably not as bad as I think it would, but I just really love England, and I love their culture, and I'd love to go see some of just all the stuff they've got over there, the castles and the just day-to-day culture. I watch a lot of British television, and I see a lot of shows, just a slice of life kind of stuff from England, and I think, man, I just really like it there. Even one of my favorite parts of Shaun of the Dead is watching him just get up and walk down to the bodega and get a soda and walk back to his apartment. It's like, wow, it's just neat.
That's shot really well too.
Yeah, it really is. That whole
go to the
one
Winchester
shot thing.
and wait for it to blow down. Blow over.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go to the Winchester, wait for this
whole thing to blow over. Like talking on like the language barrier stuff, I think you'd be fine, honestly. No matter where maybe not no matter where you go, but when I went to Spain, I don't speak Spanish, and I rented a car and I drove around. I got like lost and yelled at a toll booth, and it's like, well, I don't know. just shrugging, and they're like, okay, this guy is foreign as fuck, so they're just like pointing the other direction. It's like, okay, I'll go this way. But it all worked out, I guess, is my point.
Yeah.
My number 3 is another like eating tour place, very selectively, not really the street food so much, but India.
Yeah.
India. Because I've been on that side of TikTok. Some of it looks awesome. Some of it looks like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot
but
of
definitely an eating place. Yeah. hit up some good spots, but definitely India. Dave, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Italy. I've never been to Italy. I've been to several European countries, but not Italy. I have some lineage there, so I think it would be nice to, for similar reasons where Ian was talking about, Scotland. It would be nice to kind of go and see some of the spots that my grandfather talked about and stuff. So,
oh yeah, most definitely.
Italy would be fantastic.
Ian, number 3.
My number 3 would... Normally, my number 3 in this case would be France, but I've been to France. And while I do want to go back, I think we're going on places we haven't been that we'd like to go. And my number 3 pick would be, under different circumstances, Ukraine. I would really love to go to Ukraine. I love the people. I love their culture. They are just such a wonderful place, and I used to watch just video their landscape, their scenery. They have been around for so long, and just they have such an interesting culture. I would love to spend a couple of weeks just hanging out in Ukraine and learning more and getting to know the people there, and I think that would be amazing.
My number 4, it's moved down Melissa's list since she found out it's not as up in her genealogy as she thought, but I'd still like to go and find her roots on that side from her maiden name, and I've only heard amazing things from everyone who's been, but number 4 is Germany.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Loud and Dirty Bob, Dave.
Nice.
Spent a lot of time in Germany.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was in the military, and
He married a
met his
German
first
lady.
wife there. That's right. And he had nothing but great things to say about it. He really loved it.
The food there is awesome, especially for someone like me, because it's like, oh, do you like meat and potatoes? Because we have that in spades.
It's kind
And
of our
also-
thing.
Yeah. Also, every restaurant you go to has like 2 house beers.
Right?
It's like, holy shit.
You feel more awkward ordering water than if you were to order a beer. Like a glass of water. Oh, fucking tourists.
I bet you want ice in it too.
Yeah. The ice stuff is really a weird one.
Dave, what's your number 4?
My number 4 would be Finland, the happiest country in the world.
Yes.
Because I'd like to see how they live, and I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights, and I hear that that's a good spot to do that. So Finland.
Unexpected, very good. Ian, number 4.
My number 4 also comes under different circumstances. In a perfect world, I would very much like to visit Russia. And I have a friend, an old friend who I haven't seen in a long time, but he was the son of the owner of the company that my dad worked for most of my life. His oldest son basically moved to Russia in the 80s. Okay. And he is, as far as I know, he's still there. Speaks the language fluently and loves that country. But he would come back to Paducah for holidays and stuff when he could, and would just talk for hours about Russia and their culture and how unbelievably warm and welcoming that country can be, despite the propaganda that, most of us have been fed our whole lives about that country. And of course, their invasion of Ukraine notwithstanding, I think I would have liked to have had the chance to go and visit Russia and learn more about them, because I've heard so much, and it would be a neat experience, I think.
No, I agree with you. There are certain parts of Russia I'd be interested in seeing, so I get that 100%. Like St. Petersburg and all the shit there, that'd be great.
Oh my gosh. And just Moscow anyway. Just the architecture there, and it's a beautiful country. It's a shame it's being run by a despot, but their politics aside, it's a beautiful country and a rich, storied culture that
Everything
that
post Romanov
fascinates me. Yeah.
My number 5, mostly because of an eating tour. But sure, why not everything? Thailand be number 5.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I thought about it. Thailand it was going to be an honorable mention for me.
Because I still always remember that SNL bit where they're talking about Rosetta Stone, and all the people they interview are weird dudes with glasses that are heavy breathers. Like, I'm learning Thai for a thing. Like every one of them. But Dave, number 5.
This was tough, since it's the last one and all. and there are a bunch of places that I'd like to go to. But I'm going to go with Egypt. I would love to see the pyramids. I've also never been to Africa. It's a continent I haven't been to. I've been around that area, but not across the sea to Egypt. So yeah, Egypt for me.
That's a good one. I would very much dig a visit to Egypt as well. I think that would be amazing.
I think I would. It was on my list, but then I've also heard about, like, you know, an American is marked real fucking hard as soon as you step off the plane. So, like, you have to, like, find a local to, like, translate it and sort of defend you. That it's hard to not get scammed.
I have a feeling that's going to be the
see
case in a lot of foreign countries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, Thailand would be the exact same way.
Yeah.
Spain was kind of bad, too.
India
honestly.
would be that way for sure.
Yeah. All little kids bombarding you with bracelets and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that depends on where you are in the country, like how touristy it is also. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like to go to, I don't know, like in Spain, I like to get a car and drive and be like, look,
Right.
Yeah.
it's just fun to like look at the countryside and stuff, because it's like driving like to some of the like locations where Sergio Leone like filmed some of the spaghetti westerns. Is like, oh man, this shit is wild.
It's weird to see it like in real life. You know, you see it in the movies, but to actually be there, that would be something.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, number 5.
You know, I had my number 5 figured and I forgot it.
Okay, let's go through all the countries. Canada.
That's a good one.
I've been to Canada.
I haven't been to Canada proper.
Going to Canada is a lot like going to just Michigan, you know.
See, that's what I thought too, but I don't think I'm going north enough, because it's like I'm Canada, like just by like Niagara Falls. So it's like that. I mean, yes, I was in Canada, but like, does it really count?
It counts, but yeah, it's like something at the airport there. Yeah,
right.
My time in Canada was spent working and being given dirty looks by other Canadians that thought I was trying to find a way to move to their country permanently and take jobs away from them.
Speaking of that, Paul Kluel lives in Canada now. Married a Canadian girl and lives there. Congratulations, Paul, on your free on your free health care.
Nice, yes. I'm still trying to figure this out because I had it figured and I knew exactly what I was going to say, and then I got caught up in it and forgot.
I mean, as long as you're naming hotspots, you may as well name North Korea or China.
It's South Korea.
South Korea is a very good, man. That should have been on my list. I didn't even think about it.
Great pick.
Damn, South Korea is that's an amazing pick for number 5.
They're such a great country, and it's so modern and clean, and like, from what I understand, it's very, tourist friendly, and it's a great place to go. And then one of Dave, our former boss, Jeff, from Apex, of course, he spent a whole lot of time in South Korea. That was kind of his go-to whenever he wasn't working. He was going to South Korea and spending time. So I've heard a lot of good things about it. But yeah, I've always wanted to go.
Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, New Zealand for me.
Yes.
I didn't do it because I got Australia. It's like, I don't want to do, I know they're not the same country, but I picked Australia and Japan, and they're like pretty close together. So
yeah.
And
but while you're there, you might as well go to New Zealand.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then Greece. I mean, I think it'd be neat to see Greece.
Agreed.
Yeah, Greece, I thought about that too. I mean, I've been to Mexico, so Mexico's sort of one, but I know Melissa really wants to go, and we'll say Mexico proper, because like on a cruise. We got a car and drove around a little bit, right outside the cruise area. So that's not really Mexico, but Mexico's definitely on my list.
Yeah, I would very much like to go to Mexico as well.
Switzerland was on my list. That was a debate for number 5.
Yeah, I thought about Greenland, but I already got the Northern Lights of Finland. So,
On that Finland wavelength, I think Sweden would also be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, what do we want to do now?
What else we got? What other lists do we have?
Let's see. Well, there's Spielberg movies. If we want to keep going with Phil's list, I think it would be fun to do places to take a dump.
Oh, that is a good one. But that almost feels like it should be like a worst places too.
Worst place? Yeah, we do an anti-draft of worst places to take a dump.
But maybe that's a much bigger well to pull from. I don't know.
Things associated with old people.
Oh, I am
Household.
one of those, so that should be easy.
Yeah.
An anti-draft of household chores.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I could do that one.
I think Muppets. I don't think we've done Muppets before.
Had we not? That's crazy.
And I would have thought we had, but when I was looking back on my note cards, I didn't see one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if we haven't done it, I think we definitely should do that.
So, which one would you fellas like to do next? What sounds the best?
I don't care. I'm down with either one. I'm down with the household chores one or Muppets, whichever you want to do.
Let's go for it, Tyler.
No, go ahead, Dave.
I was
lead
going
out
to
a few
say
choices.
I was going to say chores.
Chores. Do the anti-draft of chores.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, number
so by
one.
anti-draft, we're saying what chores we don't like to
the worst.
do?
Yes,
the
worst chores.
Cleaning the bathroom.
You're lumping like the toilet, bathtub, all that together?
I mean, yeah, if you want me to be more specific, I actually specifically in the bathroom cannot stand cleaning the bathtub.
Okay.
Like, because my mom had me doing chores my whole life, and cleaning the tub was always the hardest for me because I got to do Comet, so I do Comet on the tub, and I got to scrub it out. And our tub is old, and it's not like smooth, so it's hard to scrub, and it doesn't want to come clean. And the problem is, if I would do it more often, it would be easier. But I always put it off, and then by the time I get to it, it's harder to do, and it's just a pain in the ass to get it good and clean. So cleaning the bathtub is my number one least favorite.
Fair. My eternal number one, to the point that I am hard pressed to do it now, and Melissa will do it because it was my most hated childhood chore. It was every Saturday of my fucking life, like 5 or 6 hours. I ran over a hornet's nest, and I was relieved because it meant I got to stop mowing the yard.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be your number one.
Holy shit, I will do anything before that. I fucking despise it.
Well, the last time I know for sure that you mowed the yard, you got like a class 7 sunburn.
That was the first half of what my dad would make me do, which was picking up sticks.
Yeah.
When I got sun poisoning on my head. Yeah, that sucked. Dave, number one.
I'm glad that Ian specified cleaning the bathtub because it's definitely cleaning the toilet. I hate cleaning the toilet. It is the worst. And a lot of it probably has to do with our toilet. I don't know. Well, and also that, I live with a young boy.
Yes.
So like cleaning the toilet doesn't just mean cleaning the toilet. It means cleaning the scale that's next to the toilet that's, been sprayed with urine, and also the trash can that's been sprayed with urine.
The Foxtrot books.
Yep.
I'm with you 100%. Ian, number 2.
I don't have to do this anymore, but it will always live in infamy for me as the least favorite thing I do or had to do. It was always sort of my job for some reason, is cleaning the kitty litter.
Yeah, that is scooping that.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was like a daily thing or if I forgot and had to do it every other day. It was never, ever a pleasant task, and no kitty litter works correctly. It just doesn't. And I don't care what the commercials say. Kitty litter doesn't fucking work.
Nope. I'm with you. I miss cats, but man, I don't miss that. I'm with you 100%.
We have a couple of cats, but they live outside and they shit and piss in the yard. Now, the only downside to that is my dogs think it's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
So they
It's
eat cat shit.
I remember, Ein fucking going after the cat box.
Yeah, dogs love cat shit.
And
I think one is
found out
because
it's because it smells like cat food to them.
Yeah, and cat food is higher in fat, so dogs normally like it more than their dog food. So, yeah. My number 2 is putting away the laundry. I don't so much mind washing it and sorting it to go in, but man, I fucking hate putting away laundry. That's where the doom piles will start in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, number 2.
I also don't like mowing the yard, but what I hate more than mowing the yard is trimming the hedges or the bushes. We have 2 large bushes in front of our house, and they're tall, and I don't like being on top of the ladder trimming those. And I've come a long way because I used to have, old fashioned, like the Great Gatsby style hedge clippers, where it's like you're chopping away. Like it's a giant pair of scissors, And then I upgraded to like a shitty electric trimmer. And then now I've got like a battery operated one. And now I have like one with a cord. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll have a gas operated one. But yeah.
No, at that point, then you'll be able to afford to just pay someone to do it for you.
I hate it. I hate trimming those bushes. It's the worst.
Ian, number 3.
On that yard work tip, clearing the gutters.
Ugh, yeah. Anything on a ladder, man.
Yeah. And I have, we get so much crap that builds up in our gutters because we have so many trees. And as soon as it rains, if the gutters haven't been cleared out, they overflow, and it's just, it bothers me. And so I've actually gotten so frustrated with the rain overflowing that I've gotten the ladder out and done it in the rain.
Damn.
The only saving grace to cleaning the gutters is that satisfying moment when you clear that final bit out over the drain hole and all that water just goes splursh right out the hole. And,
nice.
So
Hell yeah.
Nice. I love the splursh. But I do not like cleaning the gutters, so that's going to be my number 3.
My number 3 is, it's something that if we didn't have one, man, I'd be fucking great. I would love it. I would love to never have one of these again. I hate the putting up of it, but I particularly hate the taking down of the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I realize that I am not someone who really enjoys spectacle at all. I don't care. Like, I saw fireworks once. I don't care to see fireworks again. I think they're boring. Christmas tree, I think it's a lot more work than what it's worth. I don't care about a Christmas tree. Like the Eclipse, I wasn't even going to go outside until Melissa was like, here's some glasses, let's go. Okay. Well, I don't want to miss it. Don't you not want to miss it? It'll get dark again tonight if I really want to see it get dark again. But, I saw it in 2017. I'm good, but okay. Like, I don't know. I don't care about spectacle. So definitely the taking down of the Christmas tree.
The Eclipse is pretty cool. I was like not hyped for it, but I actually thought it was really cool. So I'm glad we got to see it. But I get it. I get the Christmas tree thing too. We've gotten to the point where we have an artificial tree that we've had for like 20 years, and I set it up, and then Tanya handles the rest. And then she decorates it, undecorates it, and then I put it back in the box and put it away. So my involvement in that is minimal, but I still fucking hate doing it. So I can totally relate to that, Tyler.
Dave, number 3.
My number 3 is, this really isn't an issue anymore because we have a dishwashing machine. I don't mind washing the dishes, but I hate drying the dishes because it's because the towel gets wet is the problem. See, the thing about water is it's wet. And so I constantly I hate that feeling of like, I don't know, drying dishes with a wet rag. And I remember when I was in high school, when I worked at Olive Garden, I was a busser, and man, dishes are fucking disgusting. Like, they're disgusting.
Dude.
Especially, at a restaurant, they're disgusting. Especially a restaurant in the 90s where you could smoke are disgusting.
Yeah, man. Somebody's always going to put their fucking butts out in the food on their plate instead of using the ashtrays. God, I fucking hated that.
Yep. It's like, dude, there is an ashtray. You did not have to use this ramekin of Alfredo, you monster.
God.
Drying the dishes, Dave. Drying the dishes.
Drying the dishes, yeah. Drying the dishes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's why it's even worse in a commercial kitchen because we can't physically dry them. We have to stack them and set them out in such a way that they air dry. And then they fucking pile up waiting for so long. It's like a huge thing in healthcare. Like, we can have fans, but then we have to have logs to show that we clean the fans regularly so the fans aren't blowing dust onto the dishes. So yeah, I'm with you for drying dishes being a whole fucking thing every which way you look at it. Ian, number 4.
My number 4 would probably be dusting.
That was you stole my number 4. Yep.
My mother was a very much, of course, back when I was a kid, we didn't have the static cling Swiffer type thing that makes it a little easier now. But my mother was all about get out the dust rag and the pledge, and we gotta dust everything off, and then we gotta take everything off the table and dust everything, and then put everything back on the table. Mm-hmm. And it drives me crazy. I don't like dust, but I do very much like a Swiffer because, baby, I could just go right over that with that Swiffer and it's all gone. And I don't have to pull out all the chemicals and everything smells like lemons and the dust rag gets soaking wet from using too much of the pledge. And I hate it. I hate the process. I like the result, but I hate the process.
My number 4, I mentioned it before, but I'll include it now, is picking up sticks. The amount of hours I've spent trolling my whole yard just to pick up sticks before I mowed. It's just the most boring, shitty job. At least you're like sitting down on a mower, or at least that's what our yard was so big it had to be. There's no way you could push mow that. So at least I got to sit on a mower And even then, we had a 0 turning radius 60-inch deck mower, and it still took me all fucking day. So also just trolling around and picking up sticks. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Dave, number 4.
Yeah, on
5.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is 5. On that tip,
Is it?
Cleaning the toilet, trimming the hedges, drying the dishes.
Okay. Was I first or was Dave first?
You were first.
Okay. Yeah, Dave.
Then that makes
we're on
sense.
4. Sorry.
You, me, Dave.
So the reason that now, as an adult, when I take, or when Nikki takes, when anyone takes the dog out, Clementine out to use the bathroom, we grab a bag and we pick her poop up. We call the shit poop, and tie it up and throw it away, is because when I was in middle school, it was my job to pick up all the dog shit before my dad mowed the yard. So
God, that's even worse than sticks.
so I will go with picking up caked dog shit.
That's worse.
That was my number 5 as well, because I have to go out in my backyard and clear out all that before I can mow, and every time I miss some, and every time I step in it while I'm mowing,
it's so much
sucks.
It's so much easier to just do it right then and there.
Yep.
Ian, number 5.
Number 5. I would say changing the sheets on the bed.
That's a 2-person job.
It is usually, and Tanya's very meticulous about how the sheets are done on our bed, and she likes to make the bed every day, and sometimes I try to help. Like, she'll go get in the shower and I'll go in there and make the bed, and I invariably will do it wrong. I will do it wrong every time. And she'll be like, give me that look like, I'm grateful that you made the effort, but now you've just made more work for me. So I don't mess with it. But the changing of the sheets, stripping the bed down and putting fresh sheets and stuff like that on, is a huge pain in the ass that I hate to do.
Yep. I get where you're coming from. It's bad. I'm bad at it, and because I'm bad at it, it's bad.
Yes.
My number 5 just applies to the home setting. Like washing dishes or getting grime off dishes never really bothered me. That's my main chore at home that I do. Melissa will mow the yard and I'll do all the grime in the kitchen. But at least in like the restaurant world, like cleaning out the fridge isn't as bad because, you just throw up the container, bring in your mop. It's easy. But cleaning out the fridge at home is my number 5 because it's all reusable containers. So I got to scoop out anything that's gone bad, wash it out,
Which in and of itself is awful because you got to smell that shit that's gone bad. And
Yep. Scrub, take out the drawers, take everything out, scrub them down, put all the little pieces back in. Yeah. Hate cleaning out the fridge at home. Dave, number 5.
Changing the oil in my car or in the cars. I don't do it because I hate it so much. The reason I hate it is because I'm always like, cool, what do I do with this oil? I guess keep it in a container in the shed.
Yep, forever.
Right.
Yep.
Well, the problem, you can take the oil to like Walmart or AutoZone or something, and most of the time they'll dispose of it for you for free. But it's a pain in the ass to get it there without spilling it all over the inside of your trunk or whatever. And it's a messy job.
Right.
I could absolutely change my own oil. I just choose not to because you're absolutely right. It's a huge pain in the ass. Whereas I could pay someone $30 and it's
totally worth it.
Out the door in 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. $30 is like totally worth it to not like do any of the shit where it's like get under my car.
It's one of the few things that you can do that you can pay to have done that actually a lot of times comes out cheaper to get it done by somebody else.
Yeah, a pan, oil, disposal, filter, all that comes up to about the same price if you just go get it done. Plus you get a nice sticker with all the numbers for the next time.
Right. And all the time you spend doing it, which is absolutely worth money. Mm-hmm. So, you might have $150 invested in a home oil change versus $30 to pay some dude to do it. And now you're also helping pay his salary so he can feed his family. So I think it's a win-win.
It is. I'll take that. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Any honorable mentions?
I'm not particularly fond of the sticks, either. The yard work, I like to do the yard work sometimes until it gets to be like, 100 degrees and 100% humidity outside. Picking up leaves is a huge pain in the ass.
I don't even fuck with leaves, man.
I do it, and I always bitch and complain about it, but I didn't put it on my list because I do very much like the end result, because that's one thing that you can like actually see sort of immediately the fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. You could sit
That's
back
why I
on
don't
your
mind
porch and look
vacuuming
at
for the
it.
same reason.
Oh, vacuuming's not bad at all. I don't like clipping the dog's toenails.
Ooh, yeah.
That one's no good.
Oh, my dog Penny will straight try to murder me if I do that. I have to get it done at the vet or at the groomer, because if I try to clip her nails, she will attempt to kill me.
Well, I know we're running a little longer than we originally said, so we're gonna wrap it up there and do Muppets on Thursday for our opening draft.
Sure. We should talk about what we're going to do on Thursday. Have we already talked about that?
Yeah,
I forgot.
I don't know if we have, but I am not going to be present. We're going to have to record remotely again on Thursday because I do not think I'm going to be clear of COVID by then. And I would feel better having another few days. So
yes, I agree.
Yeah, we should probably figure out what we're going to do.
Well, since we talked about Muppets, there is an NES Muppets game.
Okay. Is it
called
a dating
Muppet
sim?
Advent. God, I fucking wish. It's called Jim Henson's Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival.
Okay.
For Apple II, Commodore 64, MS-DOS, and the NES.
Okay.
Came out in November 1990.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm down.
So go a little offbeat, do a simple NES game and a Muppet draft.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll be doing
Let's do it.
Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival on Thursday. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, YouTube, all over the goddamn place. We got lots of stuff going on, but most important, there's that Patreon.
Yeah, we got a Patreon. And if you'd like to donate money to the show because you just feel like if it would make you feel good to do so, it would certainly make us feel good for you to do so.
Hell yeah.
You can do that at Patreon. Hell yeah. You can do that at patreon.com/TADPOG. We do have a list of executive producers. My voice is starting to give up, so you're going to have to forgive me.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Our executive producers donate $20 or more per month to the show, and I'm going to read that list now in a very specific order, starting with Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Usurper Grimm, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmaze Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Derek Pope Sandwich, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Drinksmith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, excuse me, Phil, I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. And last but not least, Louisville correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage.
My son is also
Really
named Phil
appreciate your
Hopkins.
donations. We really appreciate you guys and your donations. All of our donors, thank you very much for your generosity. We'd like to shout out to Dane for putting the show on YouTube every week.
Yes.
That's really cool of you to do that. And I'll have something for you soon after we get all this put together. And then I would also like to extend a very personal thank you to our longtime friend of the show, Michael May. He has given me, he heard my pleas and my cries about not having a stream box to be able to stream my gameplay. And just so happened to have an Elgato stream box that he has sent me just because he's that nice of a guy.
That's fucking amazing.
And so I am going to hopefully be able to get that set up and maybe start sniping into the TADPOG YouTube stream.
Yes, please.
And play a little Overwatch for everyone, just in case you're interested. So once again, thank you, Michael May. It's very cool of you to do that. Very generous of you. And I will be sure to dedicate my first stream to you whenever I do get that all set up. And I think that's it for me.
All right, where our theme song is Booze by Seymour Drive. Look at that track can be found in the show notes at TADPOG.com. Hey, boys, want to close it out?
As the way you feel when you know you've got to do one of those chores that you hate to do.
All right, so until next time, tropical fucking Capricorn.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes published Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
And now, a dramatic reading. Play the fucking track. Play that fucking track. Oh, there it is. Limp Bizkit? DMX? What? Redman. That's right, y'all. Method Man. We just keep on rolling, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Now move in. Now move out. Hands up. Now hands down. Back up. Back up. Tell me what you gonna do now. Breathe in. Now breathe out. Hands up. Now hands down. Back up. Back up. Tell me what you gonna do now. Come on. Keep rolling. 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 Keep rolling. 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 What? Keep rolling. 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 Keep rolling. 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 Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. LIMP Biscuit is right here.
Roland Death Chain.
I was going to say, are we saying Roland? It started sounding like Roland. Roland.
That parody song has to exist, right? The Dark Tower.
If not, it needs to be the intro theme for our Dark Tower episode.
I'm gonna go to Chat GPT right now and ask it to generate those lyrics.
Get ready, Dalton.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop on 1, 3, 2, 1, stop.
Uh-oh.